Luna, may I please continue the reading? Thank you. Hey crew, welcome to the Spiritual Social. I'm Lexi, your local lightworker. I thought of creating a reading today in which I summon the divine wisdom of the goddess of the night, Goddess Nyx, in order to help her find the darkest places inside of us and shed some light on them. For those of you who are interested in doing some shadow work, this is the reading for you. Our shadow is that place inside of us that we don't like to acknowledge. That's what we store unconsciously, a lot of our blind spots, a lot of the darker qualities of our nature that we prefer to remain kind of separated from. It's things that have to do with making us feel a lot of guilt, a lot of shame. It can contain a lot of our emotions that are repressed, feelings, memories, actions that we took that we are not completely proud of. So from time to time, we need to access the contents of the shadow so that it doesn't grow too large in our life and thereby it ends self-sabotaging us. And I want to summon Nyx because Nyx is the OG. She is the goddess of the sky. She is considered to be the sky itself. She represents the darkness of nightfall. She is guarding over sleep and states of unconsciousness. She brings out secrets. She sheds light on the creatures that roam in the dark. And most of these creatures are figments of our imagination. They are basically emotions that we have repressed deep, deep, deep into our unconscious. And we are often afraid to confront them because we are afraid to find out that we too can be creatures that can do harm. All this being said, I'm going to do my best to summon the energy of Nyx in this reading today so that I can guide you gently towards a deeper understanding of who you are. Coming in touch with your shadow can help you live in a more free way. It can liberate you. It can help you regain energy. If you've been feeling low, lethargic, passive-aggressive, it's mostly because there's content in your shadow self that wants to make itself known. So Nyx is going to shed light on this, and it is my utmost honor to be able to be a channel for her messages for you today. So, before I dive into the reading, we need to invoke her. Dear Goddess Nyx, we summon you now. Please preside over this reading and guide my words so that I am able to shed light on the collective's shadow side and find out messages that they need to hear at this point in time to help them on their personal growth and spiritual development. God bless, so may it be. We honor you, Nyx, and because we honor you, it's always good form to give something in return to a god or a goddess when you invoke them. I have here on one moon plate, these are some dark aronia berries. They are partially frozen, but they're melting as we speak. Dark aronia berries I associate with the night sky. They are also very good for enhancing the immune system of our bodies. I also have here on the second moon plate some rose petals because I want to honor Nyx's femininity as a creatrix, as a maternal goddess that apparently has managed to create all the other gods and goddesses that we know of and love and often summon in our daily practice. So thank you, Divine Mother of the Night Sky, for being here in all of your dark, mysterious, elusive nature. Please help us shed light on secrets buried deep within ourselves so that we may live in light, in acceptance, and in deep self-awareness. Now, I am going to use the oracle cards that are here. They have been pre-selected. One wonderful oracle deck that you can use if you want to tap into the inner wisdom of the goddess Nyx and work with her energy is this one. So I highly recommend this oracle deck for you if you want to work with the energy of the goddess Nyx. This is called the Wisdom of the House of the Night. It is created by PC Cast and Colette Baron Reed. So it dives you deep into this relationship with the goddess Nyx, and it helps you to glean insights from her. It's a wonderful oracle deck, one that I've been having for 4 or 5 years, I think, by now. And yeah, highly recommend it if you want to work with Nyx. Because I have pre-selected the oracle cards here, you know the spiel on my channel, I like to live shuffle from my tarot deck, and today I have chosen the Intuitive Night Goddess Tarot. And in order to honor Nyx continuously throughout this reading, you need to adopt an attitude of reverence and modesty when you are working with a god. I am going to bless this deck, prepare it for Nyx to send messages to us through it. I bless these cards, and in the name of Nyx, I ask for your guidance. Show me what I cannot see, confirm what I know, and help me that I may serve the highest good of all. God bless, so may it be. Okay, let's give them a little shuffle and shake. Good. And I keep them under a piece of celestite to help connect with the higher heavens. Okay. Now, before I show you the options that are placed in front of me so that you may have your pick, I'm going to give you a general collective message from Goddess Nyx, which is taken from the beautiful Goddess Power Oracle, also created by Colette Baron Reed. So, Nyx would like to tell you the following. There are times when you must surrender your need to know. Some things open up only when they choose to, not by demand. The mysterious and the unknowable is the domain of the Greek goddess Nyx. She shows you the veils that may not part for you at this time. Right now, you're meant to keep on your path, trusting that secrets will be revealed as the goddess Nyx decides. Remain true to your intentions and keep on moving forward, remaining curious and open to what you can discover. Allow your need to know the details right now to fall away, and just be present to all that life is offering you. Judge nothing as good or bad, and just be with what arises. Soon the treasure you seek will be revealed, and it will be better and more valuable than you could have imagined. The goddess Nyx knows what is best for you. Trust, and all will be revealed in divine timing. Wonderful. And all this being said, now that we have been spiritually ushered into this reading, here are the options that you may choose from. We have here for group 1 a pin that says "Stay Wild, Moonchild." So that's for you, group 1. For you, group 2, we have this pin that says "You are full of magic." For group 3, we have the hand of the tarot card reader holding the moon. And for you, group 4, we have the badass witch pin. Okay, she's not riding a broom, but she's riding a black rose. Okay, so I hope that you take a moment now, maybe take a deep breath in, close your eyes and then open them, and whichever option your eyes happen to fall upon, that is the option that is specifically intended for you, for your soul, my beautiful viewer. So I hope that you've made a choice. All of the decks that I have been using in this reading are always linked in the description box below. Have a look at them if you want to continue working with the energy of Goddess Nyx, or if you want to get in touch with more goddesses through the means of this powerful oracle deck. Without further ado, I am super excited to see what Nyx has to tell us about each of our shadow selves. How can we grow? How can we learn? By coming face to face with the unknown inside of us. Let's figure things out together. Hi group 1, welcome to your spiritual guidance related to your shadow from Goddess Nyx reading. Long title, I know. This is for those of you that were drawn to this pin, which is the Stay Wild Moonchild. Okay, so let's see, what cards have you been dealt? What can I tell you today about your shadow self? What can help you become fuller and more self-aware in your life, so that you're able to overcome whatever challenges you may encounter. We have here the 10 of Swords, the Two of Pentacles, the Nymph of Pentacles, the Warrior of Cups. Issues related to money and self-worth. We have the Artificial Heart, Asherah, the Mother of the Gods. Phenomenal. Then we also have the Secret Trail, Ascension. We have the Wishing Well of the Goddess Nyx. Inside of her grove lies a wishing well that can fulfill your deepest secrets. And then we have the Underworld, Hades. First of all, I congratulate you for clicking on this video, because I see how afraid you are of this idea of exploring your shadow self. I see very clearly that you are an individual that is incredibly kind, but this kindness has been used against you throughout your life. I feel that many times you had to start from scratch, and you were blocked by incredible indecision. You were always given options, but most of the times you had to choose one lesser wrong from two wrongs. So it's kind of like, even though you feel like you were granted options in your life, at the same time it's like the options that you had, the choices that you had to make, were very limited. They were very constricting. You didn't feel liberated or empowered once you made a choice or a decision that was hard to make. Sorry, group one, as I was talking, somebody knocked on my door, somebody who I've never talked to, an old woman, asking for Mrs. Stella. So I'm not sure what's happening. Your reading was interrupted. Maybe you needed to hear this message. An old woman looking for Stella. I'm not sure if your name is Stella. It's just something that I had to convey to you. But it's interesting because I was talking about the limits, the problems, the obstacles, the challenges you were facing, and there you go, one manifested. So coming back to our sheep, as we say in my culture, I feel very deeply that you are just at the beginning of exploring your shadow aspect. I feel that this is a blessed moment in your life, even though you may be afraid, even though you may be feeling like, I don't know if I can do this. What am I going to find out about myself? Maybe I'm not going to like it. Maybe I should keep this shadow self neatly tucked and repressed inside. It's been doing well for me for so long. Why do I need to bring it up to the surface? On some level, I feel like you are compelled to actually follow this path at the moment, because in spite of the fact that you feel things have been going okay, you are in some way emotionally blocked. We have here the Artificial Heart. Most of the issues that have happened in your life, in your personal connections, is that you are repressing a lot of your feelings. You are not showing people what you feel. You may be saying words that have nothing to do with what you feel. You could hide and cover over more uncomfortable negative feelings rather than putting them into words and dealing with them. For example, instead of showing a partner that you are angry, you could just hide that anger underneath a polite remark, a sarcastic remark, but deep down inside you want to like punch that person. You're so angry, and the person never knows that you actually feel like this about them. So they continue with the behavior that annoys you until one moment this will have to reach a standstill and you may explode on that person, or just completely cut them off from your life, and the person may not understand what happened. Like, why did you behave in this way? All of a sudden I thought things were going well. The other person will not be able to know what you're feeling because you're so good at hiding it. But deep down inside of you lies so much untapped potential. The Mother of Gods, Asherah, is here to let you know that you can be fierce and also gentle. You can do both. You are allowed to express your anger and still be the elegant, kind, gentle, tender person that everybody knows that you are. You don't have to go down the path of stuffing everything inside of yourself all the time. it is permitted for you to have negative feelings, and it's a very mature step in your life to be able to express them, to put them into words, to have from time to time verbal conflicts, and to stay inside of them until you reach a resolution, you reach a compromise, a solution that is mutually pleasing for both people involved in that specific verbal altercation. Not all conflicts need to be shouting matches. Most of the time you can have this, and I think that you have the capacity to remain cool as a cucumber, as they say, when you are dealing with somebody that is erratic, shouty, all over the place, messy with their feelings. In that situation, you need to know that you have the power. But having power doesn't only mean staying calm when another person shouts at you. Having true power means allowing the other person to express themselves in whatever way they wish, knowing that you can't really control the other person. You just have to let them be themselves. But then you are being yourself by putting your anger into words and by making something out of it. Transmit to the other person what you feel. Educate them. Don't just keep it all inside. You have hidden wonders in your shadow. And what lies deep inside of it is blocked assertiveness. You have the capacity to educate other people in moments of deep intensity. You can give people life lessons. You can trigger them into maturity. But you can only do this if you have the courage to put your feelings, and these wonderful feelings that I feel like you're a very emotionally rich person, but people see you as cold because you're so controlled. Yeah? From the Warrior of Cups to the Artificial Heart, you see it's like on the outside, this woman is a robot. On the inside, she is this phenomenal queen of feelings. She knows the whole range of human emotions, but she chooses to ice it down. You see, she's leading this polar bear into the dark night, snowy dark night. You have to make friends with the polar bear within. Bears can be cute and adorable, right? And especially polar bears, they're so soft, pure white. But they can also be fierce predators, right? When they're hungry and they will attack. They will rip things apart. So I feel that in your shadow lies a fear of your own strength. There's also a fear of your own physical strength. I feel like you are afraid to put your feelings into words, and especially your anger into words, because you are afraid situations will escalate to the point where you're going to have a physical match with the person on your mind. And you are afraid of your own capacity to physically harm somebody when you are angry. Yeah, and believe me, I've been there as well. I have Pluto sitting in opposition from my Mars in my natal chart, and they are both in very stubborn, powerful signs, Scorpio and Taurus. So knowing that I can do irrevocable physical harm onto somebody when they cross my boundaries and they anger me to such an extent that I explode is something that I had to come in contact with and I had to accept about myself. But here's the thing, acknowledging something makes you less prone to actually doing it, right? I never physically destroyed somebody, even though I thought about it, even though I felt it many times in my life. But being aware of my astrological placements, of the deep anger within, of where this anger comes from, because you can also trace it back to why are you so triggered in these moments. This gives you control. This gives you power. Real control is not blocking your feelings and never showing people that you are angry, that you're sad, that you're ashamed, that you made a mistake, and keeping like a poker face and all in all situations. Real control is actually communicating these feelings to other people and owning them and being like, yes, I feel this. Yes, this is it. How can we continue from here? If you want to continue. Because I do. So it's knowing what you feel, making decisions, but also allowing the other person to feel what they feel and to make their decision in relation to you. Because you can say, I feel that I love you intensely and I want to be with you, but then you have to wait for the other person as well, so that you hear what they have to say, because they may feel, I love you, but at this point in life I cannot be with you. Or, I love you, I want to be with you. Or, no, this is it, this is over, I do not love you, I want to walk away. So you have to respect the other person's decisions, even if it hurts like a, it hurts a lot to hear the other person say that they don't love you, that they reject you, that they've chosen somebody else. But it is a wonderful lesson in life. And seeing situations of this nature as good lessons that fortify you, rather than as slaps in the face from a punishing God in a harsh universe that always wants to destroy you, is a lesson in maturity. Yeah? So sometimes we have to learn about difficulty through the conversations we have with other people. You are hiding a lot of betrayal in your shadow. I think the root cause of the anger you may be feeling and the way in which you hide and dissimulate your emotions from other people stems from this betrayal. Somebody betrayed you deeply in the past. It could have been a mother that took her love away when you needed it the most. It could have been a father that prioritized the sibling over you, or used the sibling to make fun of you when you actually trusted them the most with something. It may have been a pattern that kept repeating itself in your connection with your lovers. Whenever you were vulnerable, somebody made fun of you, somebody may have cheated on you, somebody may have used your words against you, somebody may have used an idea of yours that you entrusted and to further their own career. A friend could have told another person something you confided in them. You feel betrayed, you feel deeply betrayed, backstabbed, hurt, abandoned. And this limits the joy that you feel in life, how close you can get to another human being when you first meet them. But the way forward, and I feel that the guidance from Nyx here is, the way forward is through this betrayal. Dive deep into the well. Start walking through the dense, deep, dark forest. It's like in that poem by Robert Frost with, the woods are lovely, dark and deep, but I have promises to keep, and miles to go before I sleep, and miles to go before I sleep. He's actually talking there about having a lot to achieve in his lifetime before he departs. But in this case, I think specifically it can be applied to your journey through your difficult feelings. What makes you feel so angry? What makes you feel so betrayed? What makes you feel like you cannot put these feelings into words whenever you encounter them? Have a look within, and I guarantee you're going to find such beautiful things. Because you are a person of great worth. Yeah, the Nymph of Cups. And you are an individual of wonderful sensibility. But very few people know these two sides of you. Your capacity to manifest wealth and to establish good working relationships with other people at work and in your love life is blocked at the moment by this resentment, by this anger, by this feeling of everyone is going to betray me at some point, so why should I bother? I'm just going to keep everything I feel inside, and I'm just going to pay attention to what people say and use it against them, just how it was done against me. You may not be aware of this because our shadow contains things that we are not aware of. You could be thinking, no, I'm everybody's friend. What are you talking about? No, because you're aware of this Warrior of Cups. Yeah. But in personal connections, in moments when you're triggered, in moments when you're intimate and vulnerable with somebody, when you get close to somebody, be it at work or at home, there is a side of you that cuts things down, that acts on this past betrayal that you haven't managed to get over. So this is why I feel like it's time for you to start exploring your darker feelings. write them down. Whenever you feel an intensity of anger, fear, competitiveness, jealousy, whenever you feel this feeling of betrayal, this coldness that, you know, like I attribute a feeling of finding out that somebody has betrayed you with kind of like the blood rushes out from your body. It goes all to your feet and you feel weak in the knees, and it's like your head kind of goes like, how could they do this to me? Like, right? You're completely shocked. It's like, I trusted them. How could they do this to me? I can't believe it. It's like all the blood gets drained from your body and you become livid, right? And then the next response is anger, right? Because you feel so sad and so betrayed. Sometimes you transform it into anger so that you can move, so that you can take action. But be careful with this, because I see that the best thing you could do is stay with that livid energy and understand, what is it trying to tell me right now? Could it be protecting me from an individual that I falsely trusted? Sometimes we choose certain individuals unconsciously that we know are giving us red flags. We put our trust in their hands and they betray us because we are reenacting a pattern. So it may be that once you deal with your shadow, what happens is that you will figure out the types of individuals to stay away from and the types of people you can genuinely put your trust into. Because that's how the unconscious pattern is repeated. We choose people that end up harming us, that end up betraying us, so that the pattern keeps repeating, the wound keeps being relived, until we learn the lesson, until we acknowledge something that is hard to stomach. And that could be very well that individual is triggering inside of you your own coldness, your own capacity to betray other people. There could be a lot of judgment here related to how other people are evil, how other people do this to other people. But what about your own inner capacity to betray somebody else? Think about deeply, and I know this is hard to acknowledge, but think about deeply of moments when you betrayed other people. I had to come to terms with that as well, in my own family, with a sibling. Certain things that I just glossed over, and now looking back, they were betrayals. And I didn't realize it at the time. At the time I thought, no, I'm just doing what's good for me and for her. But now looking back, I wasn't such a good sibling after all. I wasn't such a good sister. I failed her. And I think that she perceived it as a betrayal, yeah. So this requires a lot of maturity to understand where you did wrong. And by coming to terms with your own capacity to betray other people, you are healing this artificial heart. You're letting go of this mask. You're no longer so defensive when you meet other people, and you're no longer so afraid of the dark. You start enjoying analyzing your deeper feelings. These feelings that are negative mostly, such as jealousy, betrayal, fear, abandonment, so on and so forth. And this in turn gives you this wonderful energy. You see the difference between these cards. We have here the Lord of the Underworld, Hades, right? He who rules under the ground. Under the ground, in dark caverns. It's also a symbol for our unconscious. We hide in the ground things that are too shameful to admit. We hide in the ground that which is decayed and no longer alive, if you think about how we bury people. We hide in the ground so many things that we don't want to see on the surface. But the ground is also nourishing. From it, life grows. It's full of minerals, it's full of crystals, it's full of things. So I see very clearly that you can evolve from being an individual that, because you are repressing a lot of your feelings, you are at the mercy of them. Because you hate people who anger you, because you hate people who betray you, You are blind to your own capacity to get angry and to betray other people. And the moment you start accepting these darker aspects in your own energy, the moment when you look back in your life and you understand, hang on a minute, I also lost my proverbial shiz on somebody. I also was an anger bear at some point. I also kind of deceived this individual and betrayed them. That's the moment when you evolve from the underworld and the kingdom of Hades to Ashira's arms and the mother of gods. It's a moment when you decide to come into the light. How beautiful, how peaceful is she? And you see, she has this, I think it's a lynx or a puma behind her. So a ferocious cat, a big cat, that can also be tender and playful. So Nyx is guiding you to come to terms with your darker repressed feelings, especially the feeling of being betrayed, especially the feeling of juggling people. You may hate romantic counterparts that juggle you, that do not prioritize you. But look back in your own life. Have you prioritized people? Or have you juggled between the demands of your career and your love life? Or juggled between two individuals because you were undecided? Or juggled between family demands and the idea of being in love with a partner? Think deeply and be honest with yourself. You're doing yourself such a favor. Nyx is here to guide you. And I'm deeply grateful for the fact that I was able to convey these messages to you. Thank you so much for listening. And I cannot wait to see you on my next pick a card. Hi Group 2, welcome to your Shadow Messages reading, inspired by my connection with the goddess Nyx. So this is for those of you who are drawn to the You Are Filled with Magic pin. Welcome. Let's see, what advice does Nyx want to give you related to the contents of your shadow self? Let's see. Oh, okay. Your shadow seems to be ready to be unpacked. Cards were just falling all over the place. There's a little bit of chaos, I feel, in your life at the moment. Let me just show you the cards. I'll take them all together. So the tarot and the oracle cards. First of all, as I mentioned, your shadow is ready to be unpacked. It seems like Pluto is in your neighborhood, psychologically speaking, and the transit of Pluto in Aquarius, under which I currently find myself in, the collective as well, is really helping you get in touch with your shadow aspects. There is a deep rebirth taking place in your life. Your whole personality is being changed. You may have your sun in Aquarius, thereby Pluto is refurbishing how you understand yourself and how you relate to power, control, and the abuses of such. We have the Six of Swords, walking away towards calmer waters, but this is also about coming to terms with your thoughts and feelings. It's about reorganizing your thoughts in a way in which you can see them clearly and make peace with them. We have the Seven of Wands. So there's an issue here with lying, liars, people that lie to you, how you have been lying to yourself, people that steal from you, how you have been stealing from yourself. Okay. And as I'm saying this, my voice is disappearing. Issues with communication, issues with expressing, putting into words. Wow, such a block. Drinking and hydrating the vocal cords talks about not being able to vocalize feelings, not being able to express what you feel. It's almost like somebody gagged you or put their hands over your mouth. It's like you feel that whenever you speak, tragedy happens. We have the Three of Wands here. I feel like you generally enjoy exploring. You like to travel, you like to meet new people. But lately there have been problems with this process of expanding your mind, exploring new horizon, feeling like you are freely allowed to say what you think. Okay. The oracle cards are, so we see here blinded to pain, a lack of empathy here. We have here hunger, the vampire. Oof. We see here focus, the desire to win, Artemis. The initiation, a sacred test. And we see Black Moon Lilith in Sagittarius, free yourself. Oh my goodness, yes. Okay, very clearly the message of you feel in some way incarcerated by the demands of society. I feel like you are, sorry, I had to expel some air. I feel like you are sorry. Yeah, you are sorry. For what? There is a problem here with people blocking your liberty, but you're not aware how your judgment is blocking the liberty of other people. You feel like you just want peace of mind, but in reality you're holding a lot of opposition. For some reason, this is the Seven of Wands, but I read it as the Seven of Swords. Things are not what they seem. You think that people want to steal from you, to take from you, and thereby you create resistance in your personal connections. But this has to change, because you've been raising such boundaries around you that you are beginning to trap yourself with your own thoughts, when in reality nobody's trapping you. What lies in your shadow is the fact that you believe that other people are not empathetic with you. They constantly are against you. And yet, you are not empathetic to their own feelings. You are not trying to put yourself in their shoes and to understand them. And this may come as a shock. But I see that there is a victim mentality around you, in your aura, that you need to get rid of, because you run the risk of becoming an energetic vampire. You run the risk of telling your story of woe and sadness to people who don't need to be burdened with such things. What makes you believe that you are a victim? What makes you believe that you do not have the power to rescue yourself? Why do you feel like somebody needs to swoop in and rescue you from this pain? And have you considered that maybe being so focused on your story of pain could keep you from understanding the pain of others? The whole point of us being hurt by life circumstances is that we are being tenderized so that we can understand other people when they are going through something similar through what we have been. If you are a recovering drug addict, the point of the process is not for you to jump on your soapbox and judge and harshly punish those who are still drug consumers. But the whole point of it is for you to develop empathy to what they are going through and to figure out, together with other healthy people, how to help rescue them from a hell of their own making. So I feel that here there has been pain in your life, but it has kept you blind to the pain of other people because it has kept you shackled in your own mind. Indeed, I feel like you've been through something quite traumatic, quite difficult to stomach, difficult to process and interpret. Why has this cruelty happened to me? Why was I on the receiving end of such cruelty? But Pluto is here to help you understand that this cruelty happened to you so that you can rise above it. It was the only way that we can make you powerful. And some people are made powerful by coming in contact with such harsh life lessons. But it is not for our rational minds here on earth to interpret this. It is something that has to karmically happen for the development of your human soul. And that's what you have to come to terms with. That's what you need to make peace with, so that you can finally allow the power to surge through your body and see yourself as a survivor, a fighter, one that made it to the other side of something unbearable. You have to take the blindfold off, feel the pain, acknowledge it, allow it to transform you into a heroine, a hero, somebody that understands the pain of others and says, I'm here by your side to help you fight the tough fight. You can overcome this. I did it, so can you. We are in this together. But in your shadow lies the shame of you having gone through that particularly difficult situation in your life. And by you not understanding your shame, you keep yourself locked in pain and a victim mentality. And you judge those that are going through the same experiences as you. Once you come to terms with the contents of your shadow, once you forgive yourself for what has happened, once you liberate yourself from the shame attached to what has happened to you, you become the powerful one. And you are able to free yourself. We see here a lot of Sagittarius energy. And Sagittariuses can be delightfully expansive and optimistic. They can be your best coaches. But they can also be really big, moralizing, judgmental. You know the word. And that's when they are not coming into terms with their shadow. That's when they live in this zone of unconscious behavior where they feel there's something wrong with society and with other people. And what is wrong with society and other people is what they don't accept about themselves. So if you have Sagittarius placements, I have 3 of them in my chart. You have to come to terms with the sarcastic approach you have towards other people. Sometimes other people that are going through the same thing that you have been going through. You have to understand that oftentimes you show a lack of empathy. And I know this is hard to hear. I can feel a pang in my belly. You are asking people sometimes to hold your uncomfortable feelings, and you judge them when they don't. You think that they are toxic for not listening to your story of woe. But why are you maintaining this story of woe? Because you're not a victim. But you run the risk of becoming an energetic vampire, feeding off the happiness of other people. Because you keep getting yourself stuck in this mentality of something awful happened to me. Life owes me something. People owe me something. You need to listen to my story. You need to empathize with me. You need to save me. No. Something happened to you so that you can overcome it. And you overcome it by accepting it. And it's hard to accept horrible things that happen to us, I know. But that's how you develop compassion. And you develop compassion and you go through the world, and you say, me too, this happened to me too. And I'm not here to judge you, I'm here to connect with you. And I'm here to find ways to heal. How did you overcome it? Look, this is what I tried to do. Maybe there's a better way. Maybe we can ask another person that has been through this. But look, if we all come together and if we talk about what happened to us, we feel connected, we feel in touch, we feel like we're not alone. That's where you need to be at. And that's what's going to take the blindfold off, and that's what's going to protect you from this unconscious hunger to constantly be around other people that are, in your view, doing better than you, people that have not been shell-shocked as you were, abused or beaten down by life like you were. There is a sacred test here that has to do with you needing to open up your eyes to everything that lies around you. The 3 of Wands is about taking a journey, going out into the world and exploring life, seeing how other people live, learning from them, seeing their day-to-day struggles, empathizing with them, feeling their pain. as if it was your own, and thereby connecting with them. And through this connection, through this release of oxytocin, you're healing both you and the other person. You're building bridges where there was nothing but fear in the past. Focus on what is in front of you. You tend to fly off in the past. Part of the contents of your shadow is a desire to retreat in the past when you have work to do in the present. The present needs you. People need you in the present. It could be your own children who cannot feel pain around you because you are so caught up in your own pain. Allow yourself to feel with them. Don't block yourself away. Your pain is not stronger or more heroic than others. There is not a competition here as to who holds on to the most pain, who is the most victimized. Pain is pain, and it is felt intensely or in less intense amounts, but it is pain. We all feel it, we all go through it, whether physical, emotional, spiritual. Sometimes it is just pain, and it should bring us closer together, not get us to act in angry, judgmental ways so that we separate and cut each other off. Open the door, unlock yourself, unlock your heart, and focus on what is in front of you, because you have the wonderful potential to liberate yourself, to free yourself of pain and trauma, and release it. Your shadow contains a lot of pain. You have to find a way to get in touch with it, feel it, cry it out if you have to, and let it flow out of you. Because it's that pain that you are so attached to, it's an old story. It's no longer part of your reality, and it's infecting you with negativity. It's getting you to hurt other people. Much like, the saying, hurt people hurt others. Maybe you didn't thought this was possible in your case. But again, it's unconscious. You're not aware that you're doing it. And I hope that this reading, the safe space of this reading, is helping you begin to acknowledge how your pain may have caused pain to others. And you did it without even knowing. You thought you were just sharing your story. You thought you were looking for empathy. But sometimes we traumatize other people through our own trauma. Inadvertently, it just happens. We don't feel that the other person is not yet ready to hear certain things. Because we're so caught up in our own feelings, we lack the capacity to put ourselves in the shoes of the listener. And this could be a pattern that happens in your personal connections. In love, you may expect your partner to hear everything that has happened in your life and to be there for you and empathize and be like a mother and a father for you in those moments. And you forget that your partner is a human being that has maybe a limited capacity to feel empathy. Maybe they're also struggling with their own pain. So it's not about the fact that it's wrong to share your pain with your partner. It's the intensity, the amount, and the repetitiveness of how many times you do it. Doing it once, having a 1 hour long conversation in which you cry it out, should be sufficient. Try not to bring it up every day, or every time when you have an argument, or every time when something doesn't go your way. And I'm telling you this because I'm also a reformed emotional vampire. I used to do this as well in my personal connections, and I wasn't even aware of it until my partner started putting it into words. So they mirrored my shadow, and I started becoming aware of it. And it was a shock. How could I, the hurt one, the little victim, cause you pain? Well, it's because I was so caught up in my pain that I couldn't see the other person in front of me. I couldn't feel with them. I was feeling for me. So it's time for you to unpack the shadow. You are so brave. I am by your side. Nyx is by your side as well. In dreams, you can see patterns from your unconscious. Write them down. I keep emphasizing on my channel how important it is to have a dream journal. It's free therapy. Write whatever you remember, even if it's just a little symbol, a little strand, a little color. Write it down, my love. You can only benefit from it. You are ready to face your shadows. You are ready to transform your personal connections. Thank you so much for listening. It has been an honor for me to be able to convey these messages to you, and I cannot wait to see my next one. Bye. Hi, Group 3. Welcome to your guidance related to your shadow self, as I can glean it from Goddess Nyx. So this is for those of you who were drawn to the tarot reader's hands, reading tarot. Okay, so let's see. What do you need to know at this point in your personal and spiritual development related to your blind spots? Let's see. The cards just completely flipped over. Wow, and there are a lot of them. Okay, Spirit really wants to talk. Get ready, cozy up, because we have some things to discuss here. I'm going to show you all of the cards you got, even the oracle cards, so I can see them in front of me and read you what I see. We have the Five of Wands. We have the Chance card, the equivalent to the Wheel of Fortune. We have the Two of Wands, the Spirit of Pentacles. We have the Three of Swords. Yes. We also have the Queen of Cups, Peaceful Among Thorns, Black Moon Lilith in Capricorn, Elevated Status, As Above, So Below, Manifestation. We have here Chaos, Tornado, and we also have the Morrigan, Sovereignty. Okay. Give me a second. I feel like you are so confused about so many things. There has been a storm created in your life, and it's kind of like you're walking, and I don't know why, but my right nostril keeps itching in your reading. There's something happening on your right side, on the right side of the face, the masculine side. Coming back to the storm message, it's like a lot of things happened and they blew dust in your face, and it's kind of like you're trying to see clearly, you're rubbing your eyes, you don't really understand, you're trying to make sense of a lot of sudden turns of situations. You thought that a deal would come through, you thought that a job was safe enough, you thought that a relationship was in a particular way, and then all of a sudden everything changed on you, almost like that, in a second, overnight. And you're trying to build a stable foundation in the empire of storms, which is a very difficult task to do. But I feel this is something you are accustomed to. It's kind of other people, you feel that other people expect you to be reliable when circumstances around them are unreliable. Like, you always need to be the responsible one in chaotic situations. You always need to be the center among thorns. You're accustomed to be centered in harsh circumstances. I see a child sitting on a playmat, and mother and father are shouting, they're smashing plates, they're arguing, the television is loud, and the child continues to peacefully play. The child doesn't cry, doesn't throw a fit or a tantrum, they just continue to play. It's the same at this point in life. Capricorn, holding on, not letting go, steadily, with effort, climbing, baiting your breath until you reach the top, putting up with difficult people, difficult circumstances, a lack of everything, a lack of affection, a lack of money, a lack of recognition, a lack of empathy. but putting up with it, taking it in your stride until you reach the top. Effort, perseverance, determination. Somebody slaps you down, you get right back up. You have been manifesting a lot of the difficult circumstances you are encountering in your life. This is the first message related to your shadow. You may not be aware of it, but there is an expectation of strife. There is an expectation of dog eat dog. Your view of the world is skewed by experiences from the past. And to a large extent, you are not seeing how many more opportunities there are in the world for you. The Wheel of Fortune shows that there are chances, there are opportunities. I think there was a little fly as well that was kind of flying, yeah. But you keep attracting the flies because you expect life to be hard. You are blind to the joy inherent in every interaction. By exploring, by looking outwards more, by beginning again or adopting a new mindset in terms of how you earn your living, you are going to unpack the contents of your shadow and unleash joy. You are very aware of your shortcomings, of your defects, of the problematic aspects of the human nature. And you've been silently, peacefully, kind of putting up with them. Kind of like, okay, whatever. I'm going to continue to do my thing. I know everything is harsh, everything is difficult. I'll just plow forward. But life doesn't have to be this difficult. You are allowed to enjoy it. You're allowed to feel pleasure. You have to adopt a different mindset to how you earn your living. You think that hard work will get you places. And in certain situations, definitely. It's a very realistic, pragmatic approach. But hard work has also led you to being betrayed. You put effort into relationships that ended up not giving you the rewards or the results that you expected. And your heart was broken. You don't have to work so hard for everything. There is a problem here with worthiness. I can get what I want only if I work for it, only if I control it. I will become rich, wealthy, and respected if I do the utmost that I can, if I am the most disciplined, if I maintain stability during chaos. But in reality, you will get where you want not by separating yourself from the world and being this conscious observer while others are losing their mind and you're kind of like continuing to do the hard work while everybody is like out partying. No, you will achieve what you want by enjoying life more, by falling in love with other people. Not necessarily because you want to marry them or something like that, but just loving human nature, understanding other people, understanding that people can do mistakes and they still can be loved. You may look at popular celebrities that are doing some awful things and people still love them. They still have fans. People still buy their music and go and watch their movies and things like that. And you're wondering how, when you have been taught that only if you do what's right will you be rewarded. But you did this in the past and it led you to heartbreak. So it may not be a question of you needing to put in a lot of effort, but it's a question of you changing your mentality. You can F up and still be loved. Yeah. You can see the harshness and reality of other people. You can see the dark side of human beings and still continue to love people and humanity. Things don't have to be either or, black and white. This black and white mentality has led you to a lot of problems and is blocking you in the achievement of your ambitious goals, because you are highly ambitious. You have to reach people emotionally. You have to start to find ways to accept them more. And you do this by healing your heart. You're manifesting difficulties because you're not allowing yourself to be more tender, to be softer, to be more understanding and accepting and compassionate. Instead of steeling yourself up and raising your sword every time you encounter a person that is just being silly, just being loud and messy and brash and annoying, you could just laugh at them, like, look at this person. Are you having a bad day, buddy? What's going on with you, But no, you go like, this person is a weirdo, an idiot. They don't know what they're doing. They're missing out their chances. I'm going to swoop in and do the hard work while they are just being messy because I know that hard work is going to give me results. Wrong. It won't always give you results. If you walk over other people to achieve your goals, it will drag you down. It will block you from achieving this elevated status. People remember you by how you made them feel, not by the exact words that you said to them at some point. Those words could also ring in somebody's mind from time to time, but the overall vibe that you were giving, the overall feeling that you helped them feel, the way you felt with them, that's what people remember about you when they hear your name. They may not care so much about your diplomas, your achievements, how much money you have in the bank, your house in a very good neighborhood. Okay, sure, cool, good for you. But if you don't reach people emotionally, they will never be on your side. They will never offer you the help you need to boost you up to that elevated status you want to reach. To be a good leader, you need to first be one of the people and to continue to be aware of how it is for other people. We see so many leaders that have just been appointed into positions of leadership, but they are so out of touch with other people. We do not consider those leaders to be good leaders, right? But we appreciate people that came from harsh circumstances, from difficult life circumstances, and they somehow managed to reach the top. And how did they do that? By establishing relationships, by being grateful, modest, appreciative, by complimenting people when they genuinely help them, by keeping them in their minds and being grateful for their help. You reach the top by standing on the shoulder of giants. You need the trust and the support of those giants in order to push forward, to stand on them. Because if not, they're just going to shake you off and you will fall. So you have to transform the negative view that you have of people and humanity into something more positive. The Morrigan can help you achieve this. She was known for taking the form of many different deities. She could be vengeful as well as just. She usually appeared during moments of combat to settle the score. If you want to, you can see it as some sort of Irish deity that distributed karma. But I see here as well a lot of swords, a lot of limits. You see, we have this giant sword held by the Morrigan, and we see it here as well. And we see it here, although this is not a sword card, but we see the blades that are limiting your worldview. You are quite limited in your thinking. You have to expand your mind. You are not as open-minded as you think you are. Okay, and this is part of the shadow content. I know it must be difficult to hear, but there's more work to be done here with you accepting other people, accepting yourself, and opening up your mind, becoming more tolerant. There is the need for you to be right all the time, and to think that what you're doing is the better thing, the better course of action than what another person is doing. You have to find a way to change that and allow another person's opinion to be as equally valid as yours. Another person's lifestyle, behavior to be as equally valid as yours. Because I think if not, you're just going to keep cutting yourself down. You're going to separate yourself from everyone else. You're going to burn all of your bridges. I know that you may have been hurt in the past. And maybe it wasn't at all because you did something wrong. Maybe it just happened. It was a life lesson. But it was a lesson as well in understanding that when you give love, it can be given freely. It doesn't have to be something planned, scheduled, calculated, something in which you put effort and you want to see results. If you have to work so hard at a relationship, ask yourself, is this really love? Or is it control? Am I just trying to get this person to a specific outcome that I want? Could you be manipulating this person? Because that's what manipulation is about, right? Using your willpower to get another person to do what you want. That's selfishness. When allowing the other person space to make their own choices is riskier, but it is exactly what you need in order to feel loved and appreciated by the other individual. Because you know that when they choose you, they've chosen you without any input from you. You're just there. You're just expressing yourself, and a person comes and says, I love this. I want to be around you. I want to spend my time with you. Yeah. So a change in your mentality, a change in the way you express yourself emotionally needs to happen. Let go of being right and see more the humor, the fun in life. Battles don't always need to be won. Yes, you can suffer defeat, so what? We all do at some point in our lives. Yes, you may be rejected, okay. Take it in your stride, humble yourself and move forward. I do know that you had experiences of being humbled with this card. But you have to understand that the more you think that a negative outcome is possible, the more it's going to happen. The more you think that a person will challenge you, the more it's going to happen. You're feeding power into negativity, into what doesn't need to belong in your life. And the more you expect things to work out, people to be kind and compassionate, the more that will happen. So open up your heart. That's the only way you're going to reach the top. You don't have to be peaceful among the thorns. You can get up, unplug the thorns from your skin, release the pain and the effort, and achieve the most by putting yourself in a garden of roses. Roses have thorns as well. So you may want to go for maybe a patch of echinacea or daisies, right? Shift the environment, shift your thinking, open your heart, and you will achieve the ambitious goals you felt in your heart from a very young age that you were meant to achieve. That's what lies in your shadow, the self-righteousness, this need to separate and cut people off when they don't agree with you. Let that behavior go. Release it. Come back to yourself. Make peace with yourself, because the separations that you're experiencing in your life are related to parts of yourself you're not accepting. Cutting people off from your life, it's cutting parts of yourself. It's you're compartmentalizing and organizing yourself in such a strict way. And this is shown in your reality by not accepting people, by not accepting certain things. And while it is true that we shouldn't accept constant disrespect, that we shouldn't accept unfair situations, that we should take a stand from time to time, you can do it to an extreme. It's like you found out this is a protective measure and you're overprotecting yourself to the point where nobody is around. Nobody is around to help you, to love you. Okay? So there is a saving grace to this, because once you stop chopping inside of yourself and compartmentalizing it yourself, Once you stop organizing your thoughts from your feelings and just allow them to be messy, allow them to flow into one another, that's when you will start to accept people around you as they are. And just take them in your stride as the lovable fools that they are. This has been your message. I really hope it helps you with your shadow work. Thank you so much for listening. It has been an honor for me to convey these messages to you. Thank you, and I cannot wait to see my next one. Ciao. Hey group 4, welcome to your shadow reading, courtesy of my being able to get in touch with the goddess Nyx and deliver messages to you. So this is for those of you who are drawn to this witch that is riding a black rose. Let's see right now, what messages related to your blind spots do you need to hear at this point in time for your higher becoming, so that you can feel whole, so that you can live life with more joy and satisfaction. We know that when we get in touch with aspects of ourselves that we disown, that we do not accept, that's when we become a much more well-rounded human being. And things that weren't working for us in the past suddenly start manifesting for the better. So first of all, I can see here the Empress. We have here the Spirit of Wands. We have the Seven of Pentacles. Okay, there's already a very clear message. We have the Nine of Swords. We have the Three of Pentacles. And we have the Ace of Wands. Yes, a very clear message related to self-worth, beauty, and how afraid you are of inner beauty. In a second, I'll dive deeper into this. We have Mother Earth, Adama, simplicity, beauty, allowing things to just exist as they are. We have here as well, Alone in the World. We have Acceptance, Hell. Oh my God, it couldn't be more clear. I think that your message is the most direct and clear one. We have the High Priestess of Air. And we have the Witching Herbs, Nourishment. You may have been raised by a narcissistic mother. You may have grown up in a family where there was competition. Why did I pronounce it like that? Maybe you don't speak English as your mother tongue. You had to learn it. There are many things imposed upon you. You are a very beautiful person, but your beauty radiates from within. It's just that you grew up in an environment that was not valuing it. There was competition. If you have any siblings of the same gender as you, there was competition between you and them for the parents' affection, and this competition was mostly related to superficial aspects. If I am the cute one, the funny one, the beautiful one, then my mom or my dad are gonna pay attention to me. If I look like my parent wants me to look, then I will be loved, then I will be accepted by my parent. You see, the story of Hell is really interesting because on one side, she's cut in half. On one side, she is a beautiful maiden, and on the other side, she is a cadaver. So we're seeing here this duality of, I need to look perfect, I need to be beautiful, so that people love me and they never leave me, so that I can attract a partner, so that I can get married, so that I can have a family, so that people want to take me out, so that I still have friends, so that I still have followers. You could even work in a profession that is all about beauty. It's all about your looks. You were taught from a very young age how to focus specifically on the superficial aspects of life because you think this is what is going to lead you towards success. But you have so many beautiful inner gifts, and you have a form of inner beauty. You have a sense of simplicity and understanding about how you should just let things be. You shouldn't interfere with them too much. And this is the actual recipe to the success that you want to see in your life. Focusing too much on the beautiful part of yourself, the physical care of your body, to the extent that you have to tweak everything to make yourself look better and better and more attractive and perfect, is not going to get you in time the rewards that you want, because aging is a process that enslaves us all. We will all have to go through the gradual decay of our body. It's inevitable, it's part of life. And gradually, the benefits you are incurring at the moment through how you look will diminish as your looks will wither. That is not to say that your value as a human being will diminish. Because if you build up your personality, if you achieve things in life through your skills, through your intelligence, through your sense of humor, through your capacity to connect with other people on an emotional level, to respect their boundaries, if you use your personality to get things in life from other people, you are building a life on a very solid foundation. Because people may take away your beauty, they may take away your money, your clothes, your house, even your children in certain cases. God forbid, I don't want this to happen to you, but yeah, I know cases. But what they cannot take away from you is who you are as a human being. That cannot be taken away from you. Yeah? So, I feel like a change needs to happen in your life, because what lies in your shadow is superficiality. You may not see yourself in this way, but you come across as a very insecure person. A person that needs to constantly take action towards beautifying the body and looking perfect and good all the time. People see you as vain. I know, this is hard. This is hard to swallow. But they do see you in this way. In your shadow lies this energy of somebody that may prioritize beauty above relationships, above love. You may not see yourself in this way, because that's the whole point of the shadow. It's not conscious. You're not aware of it. You could see yourself as a friendly person that likes to collaborate, a person that is very focused on the growth of herself, the growth or himself, the growth of business. You may incur a lot of rewards. People may give you gifts. They may want to work with you. They may want to collaborate with you. You could be a trendsetter. You could be a style content creator, a beauty content creator. So you're thinking, well, I'm doing all these things in order to better myself, to perfect myself, to give people a beautiful experience so that I can continue to grow and become wealthy. But people tend to see you as lacking in heart, passion, vigor, courage, determination. It's almost like you're pretty on the outside, a beautiful package, but kind of empty on the inside. And on some level, this gives you a lot of anxiety and sleepless nights. The passing of time freaks you out because you know that it will ravage your body. Wrinkles will appear, white hair, flabbiness all over the body, as the body will no longer maintain its tonus. So you have to figure out a way to accept this aspect in your shadow, and thereby take steps into building your life on other things that have nothing to do with beauty and outward appearances. How good of a friend you are, how good of a worker you are, the skills that you need to have in order to continue being abundant throughout life. You feel that you have to look beautiful, and you have to put a lot of effort into it. 7 of Pentacles is about putting hard work into being beautiful, undergoing pain, and because you want to be perfect, you want to look as good as you can. Because you are afraid of not being chosen, of being forgotten, not being the priority. You may be afraid that if you're not beautiful enough, your husband will leave you, or your wife will leave you. If you're not beautiful enough, nobody will want to collaborate with you. You're going to lose followers, subscribers, your fans, your public. Especially if you have a social media platform, and I think a lot of you do. Yeah. If you don't look beautiful enough and you are working as a beautician, cosmetologist, Maybe you feel that clients don't trust you. You know, you're not taking good care of yourself. Why should I come and have my hair or nails or, you know, makeup done by you? You look like a mess. That's not inspiring client trust, right? But a more simple, grounded, down to earth, minimalistic approach to beauty, it's actually what's going to help you stand into self-respect. That's what's going to help you let go of this Nine of Swords. So what lies in the shadow is you may criticize your mother, your siblings, your sisters, your aunts, the women in your life for being narcissistic monsters, but you don't see the narcissism that you are projecting out into the world. People end up perceiving you just like the people that you judge. You may attack your mother and say, she only valued me for how I looked. She only raised me to believe that my worth is dependent on me being in a connection with somebody else. But you haven't healed this aspect of yourself, and this is what lies in your shadow, this duality. And by continuing to judge the parent or the source of this narcissism, you are judging yourself, you're not accepting yourself, and other people judge you back in the same way. That's how this shadow gets projected. That's how it operates. And you could be thinking, how dare you? How dare you call me narcissistic? I'm the victim of narcissism. But because the behavior is not yet conscious, you're not seeing certain things that you may have in common with the source of this narcissism and superficiality. You haven't taken steps to change yourself and rebel against this narcissism. Because of this, you continue to reproduce it. And that's why it's so important to do the shadow work, so that you take bold steps to make some changes in your life. Accept the cadaver within. You will age, you will die. It's inevitable, it's part of life. And to a large extent, the fact that we have a deadline, deadline, pun intended, makes life beautiful. It makes life worth living. Continuous life with no end makes us behave into monsters because we take everything for granted. But knowing that you will die one day, knowing that you will leave something behind, that you have the possibility to leave something behind, can push us into being the best that we can at a personality level, not necessarily how we look. Looks do give you benefits. Pretty privilege is a thing, definitely, but it also has a darker aspect because people tend to see you just as an object to be used, to be consumed, and to be discarded once the object changes its appearance. Dare to change your appearance. Dare to slim down on all of the practices you are currently paying for or working hard towards obtaining. Try to do things differently for a while and see what happens. If you end up being alone, this is an experience you should cherish because it shows you that the people around you were only in your life for superficial reasons. They just wanted hot air from you. They didn't want you, the solidity of you. You see, from hot air to solidity, from a world lived in your mind, communication, detached from actual living and bodily things, a world of image, right? To what I can touch, what I can see, what I can feel, doing something that genuinely makes me feel like I have a body, like I'm embodied. A lot of you struggle as well with nourishment. A lot of you are putting yourself through intense diets so that you can look perfect and thin and fit into the ideal standards of beauty. But these change, so your body changes according to them. So who nourishes you if you don't nourish yourself? Your relationship to food, to femininity, to your body, to mothering needs to change because it's really affecting your fertility, it's affecting your sense of self-worth. You have a lot of fire inside of you. You may have some planets in fire. Do not conform. What needs to happen here is that by you acknowledging your shadow, you need to rebel against superficiality. And you need to be brave enough to explore a life that has nothing to do with image. This could be as drastic as, for example, you're a beautiful content creator, you make all sorts of like really beautiful photos, you have a gorgeous presence online, people really subscribe to you and like you, and they pay good money to see you, and then you all of a sudden decide, you know what, I've had enough of this. I am just going to buy a farm somewhere in the middle of nowhere, and I'm going to raise cattle for the next year and see what happens. And you know, raising animals is a really physical job, right? There's a lot of poo and dirt and lots of heavy things. Like, you need to show up each day and feed them and brush them and take good care of them and milk them, and it's hard work. But by doing this kind of activity, whether you do it with cattle, whether you do it with raising a child, whether you do it with working on a project, for example, you need to write a book and you need to lock yourself in libraries for the next 5 months. Taking this approach, which sounds drastic, is actually going to help you nourish yourself. It's going to help you understand what really matters and how you can get back to the basics. It's going to develop your personality and help you integrate the beauty with the beast. Because I have a feeling that you're very trapped by the superficial energy. You want more solidity in your life. You want something and somebody to rely upon, but you're not getting it because you keep pushing through this. I need to look beautiful, physically beautiful, in order to be granted opportunities, money, wealth, people to love me. I need to be popular so that I will never be left alone. But what if you go out into the world and you do something by yourself? Take yourself out to the cinema. Go and do a hobby by yourself. Travel alone. Buy a farm. Transform it into a business on your own. It's so important for you to work at your relationship to yourself behind the scenes. And it's important as well for you to learn how to mother yourself, because you haven't had a nourishing mother. I see it very clearly here. This was a mother that was in competition with you, a mother who hated the fact that she was aging and hated the fact that you were more beautiful just by the benefit of being younger. There was resentment there. And again, it could be because your mother was not nourished by her own mother, and so on and so forth, and there was this patriarchal premium that was incurred when the women in your family looked beautiful. That's how they got the men, that's how they got the money, that's how they got the stability. But you are given choices. You don't have to follow in those footsteps. You don't have to shackle yourself in the same family pattern. Finding a man, trapping him, using him for his money, and living miserably because all you do is take care of how you look, and this will disappear in time. Now, there's not to say that as you age, that's it, you're going to turn into this horrible hag. There are so many beautiful older women that I admire and love, and I cannot wait to age like them. Hopefully, that's my that's my aspiration. But developing a whole life and existence based only on the exterior and investing so much time, effort, and energy into that is a fruitless task if you do not cultivate all the other aspects of yourself. So by accepting this thing in yourself, by understanding that you run the risk of becoming the very thing you hate, you can free yourself to explore other things. Invest in your skills. Do things that have nothing to do with superficiality, style, beauty, and see where they take you. See on what avenues they take you. See what people you meet, what relationships you build when you try something different. This will help you, I guarantee. It will help you calm down your nightmares, your anxieties. You are quite fearful of something here. You may believe that you need protection in order to have the life you want to live, but no. You're very fierce. The Ace of Wands here shows that you were quite naturally authoritative, even bossy in certain situations. That's what I'm hearing. But you were slammed down by the people in your environment, maybe the traditional culture in which you were brought up, maybe religion stepped into play. I also feel that in certain cases you were kept away from beauty because of the envy and dissatisfaction of this mother figure. So when you grew up, you really craved it. You were obsessed with, I want to wear makeup, I want to wear nice clothes, because your mother or your father prohibited you from wearing beautiful things. And you started wearing them, you started decorating yourself, and people all of a sudden were like, whoa. And on that whoa, you build a life, and now it's shaking at the seams, because you have to confront your shadow and make a decision based on something stable. Your intelligence, your capacity to make new decisions, to change your life for the better, exists within you, and it can only be accessed once you confront the superficial energy that lies in your shadow. Hell can be a really good guide for you. Yeah? She governs over the world of the dead of common people, those that were sick, those that, unalived themselves. She lives in a very frosty kingdom. She's surrounded by, if I'm not mistaken, a dog and a bear, anyway, she has animal friends. She is the misfit, the forgotten daughter of Loki, but nonetheless a reminder of the beauty within, the darkness within. What would you do to attain utmost beauty, right? Thinking that this is the only thing that's going to bring you success. Whatever success extreme beauty brings you, it will unfortunately only be temporary. It's like an addiction. You always need to get the next hit. The moment when you see a cut or a crease on your face, that's the moment when you have an existential crisis and you can no longer live like this. And believing that in some way you are protected from the vanity that exists in society at the moment, that you're not contributing to it, it's what's blocking you from really getting in touch with the shadow aspect of yourself, to understand just how emotionally involved you are in your beauty and how many benefits it has been incurring for you. Once you acknowledge these things, you are able to transform. You are able to begin again, to liberate yourself from lethargy and to take action. You've been repressing your masculine energy very, very deeply, almost in order to cater to the demands of this idealized beauty that the patriarchal society is infringing upon us all. And I can understand that's a very pragmatic survival decision. All my respect to you, I've been doing it too. We're all in this together, my love. But I feel like your soul is saying, I want something different, I want something solid, I want something simple, yeah? And I want to nourish myself. And these things can only be accessed if you sacrifice a little bit these superficial concerns. Air energy can be liberating, it can be progressive, it can be so heady and fun, but it can also be ridiculously superficial and not in touch with reality at all. So acknowledging these things and getting back to the basics, good food, good rest, what are my skills, what can I produce with my own two hands, with my mind, that's what's going to liberate you and help you live a more meaningful, peaceful, and whole life. Thank you so much for listening. This is the reading that I had for you. I really hope you have enjoyed it. I cannot wait to see my next one. And take care of your heart in the meantime. Ciao.